Jacob Wilcox went ham on the wave. He did. I said to my
Yeah.
friend the other night, my age, when I watched this turn he did, I felt sore in my body.
Yeah.
So flexible and fast it was. I felt my sciatica, I felt my hips, I felt everything. I like. Good afternoon. It's an afternoon today, insiders. 11th of May. I'm talking to Matthew the Mullet Hayes. He is mullet free. We are back together we haven't been for a couple of weeks. I'm back from the brink of COVID-19. Took me to hell and back. How are you, Matt?
I'm good. Mulletless, mustacheless. But it's good to see you back.
Virusless.
But virus free. But it's nice to see you back to health and that you're over it, because it can be a horrible one. And we're back and firing. I reckon we are ready to rip into some thoughts and opinions on a couple of things that have been happening lately.
I don't feel 100% yet, but it's there's a flash swell in the morning, Matt. So there's 6 to 10 foot Lenore, my home spot, tomorrow morning. So I'm going to pull out the general manager from Bradley, the old 9.6, give it a wax and try and have a double injection of espresso coffee in the morning and see how I go.
Nothing will make you feel more better than getting a little Lenore bomb.
I only just need 3. If I can get out there, get one, get another, and get out of there, Bob's your uncle.
There
the
we
famous
go.
Get a few. We always just want a few.
Yeah.
And you can get away with a few. It's only if the few you get a shitty that you just keep coming back out, I think.
Yeah, 3 good ones. 3 good ones is most people don't get. Even if you have a 10 wave session, you don't always get 3 good ones, do you? So
you don't.
So let's dive in to make or break.
Apple.
Yeah.
Plus.
The WSL's version of Drive to Survive. The same people have made it. I haven't seen Drive to Survive, which I think is a good thing.
So I've watched it all. You've watched it all, and I watched all the Drive and Survives.
Right. Yeah. So I watched every episode of Make or Break inside 2 days. I haven't seen a single episode of Drive to Survive. My friend Ryan, who you've met, little Ryan, he said to me, if you've watched Drive to Survive and then watch Make or Break, it's disappointing. Make or Break is disappointing compared to Drive to Survive, but it's obviously I don't think you should be comparing it just because the same people made it. So
I'd like to just throw at you, like, I think if you look at a surfboard in the back garden and then 5 meters next to it, you got a Formula One race car. Whether you're a surfer, if you're a surfer, you're going to go and look longer at the race car. If you're from the public, you're going to go look longer at the race car. And if you're a race car driver, you're going to look longer at the race car. They're just 10 times more exciting.
Exactly. And that's why it's different for a different audience, and that's why I'm trying not to compare it as well. But what were your initial thoughts of Make or Break?
Well, look, I'm what you call a core surfer. I surfed from when I was 11. I had like a 5-year hiatus or 4-year hiatus between 15 and 19 when I was seriously in clubbies, and then I retired from swimming. So I gave everything up. I even stayed away from the beach. It was too much. And then I come back to it as hard as ever, and I've never stopped surfing. So it's kind of like when I watched this, I kind of already knew a lot of what they're showing you. So, you're watching something that you understand as good as the people that are making it, better.
Yeah.
2, I know the profiles of everyone they used. I know all their story. So it's a lot less fresh for me as what Drive to Survive would be, or to a non-surfer who's watching this thing. So it was more like I got a glimpse inside the famous part of my surfing tribe. kind of thing. But nothing jaw opening. Is that what is it?
Jaw dropping.
Nothing jaw dropping.
Yeah. See, when I watched it, I guess my breakdown of it would be episode 1 is the worst episode of all of them. So
Which one was that?
that's the one where Tyler White's in it, and it's when the women first go to Pipe, and it mainly focuses on Tyler and the women at Pipe and stuff.
It's just a Jack in the Box ping pong match, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just weird. I didn't feel any connection to it at all. And that's weird because they put that one out for free to obviously try and get people to hook in.
No cohesion.
Exactly. But then episode 2, which is basically about Gabby, about Medina, and a bit about Italo, I thought was probably one of the best episodes. And as a kind of surf fan, for me, that was really, really cool to see. Andy King's story is next level. I already knew about Kingy, but obviously a lot of people don't. And to see, how him and Gabby worked together and what Gabby was going through, and the Brazilian side of it, I thought was really, really cool. I think Gabby done himself no harm. I think he looks really good in it, and he's going to gain more and more fans. I thought Italo looked like an absolute jerk. I thought he looked like how he comes across. Everyone's like, oh, he's this guy, fun-loving, blah, blah. He just looks like a jock. He travels on his own, but pays this guy to travel with him. He doesn't. He has no connection with other Brazilians.
You didn't deduct that, did you? You know that, because I don't even know that the guy was paid to travel with him.
Oh right, yeah.
I didn't deduct any of that.
Exactly. And you see people kind of put Medina and Italo in the same box, but Gabby hangs with David Silva and Michael Rodriguez and the Pupo brothers and Iago and Philippe.
I didn't see any of that either. I only saw Gabby hanging with his blonde hottie.
Yeah, so you see it all in it, and then you never see Italo with anybody else, and it's just a bit weird. But so I thought episode 2 was really good. I really enjoyed the episode about Morgan and Matt McGilvery and seeing a bit what the rookies go through. That came off really well, and I thought Steph's episode was really good. One of my favourite parts about it was when Sage Erickson was calling Tatiana Western Webb a snake for. That
was full on.
Yeah, I mean,
because actually what she did was basically she just lied to her, which is okay if that's how you want to make money, but she basically just lied to her.
Yeah.
Tricked her into interference and then said, hey, I'm just playing the game.
Yeah.
That's not playing the game, is it? It's lying, cheating.
Exactly.
Or you could say Sage was dumb for not knowing.
Yeah, there's Sage's part. There's obviously Sage's part of it, but there's the other side of it of
she's a Christian, mate.
Yeah,
I've seen her. She's a Christian. She's apparently quite serious into Christianity, which isn't. There's some things in the Bible like honesty.
Yeah.
Or am I wrong? Okay.
Yeah, and so with that, I thought that showed. I started to like it more and more when you got to see things like that you don't see anywhere else. Like not even Stab had picked that up when the event was on. All of that.
My question is: did Tatiana and for example Italo, did these guys and girls get paid a little bit extra and scripted to be a villain, or does Tatiana think that's better for her career to push that avenue?
I don't know. I mean, you would doubt it, wouldn't you? But
obviously a villain role.
Yeah, but you would doubt it. But it was weird. But again, you see a lot of the. I thought Tatiana felt disconnected from the rest of the female tour. You saw like quite a lot of obviously the Aussie crew kind of chill and hang and stuff like that, but quite a lot of them seemed to have respect for each other and would hang out. But Tati seemed like she was kind of like that lone wolf in that pack as well.
They used to say the same thing about Sally Fitzgibbons, because Sally Fitzgibbons was an incredible sportsman, a runner and everything. And she generally, when she travelled anywhere with Roxy, had to have her own special accommodation and wasn't that good at sharing, which I completely understand. Like, it isn't like, okay, cool, yeah, let's be one big happy family. And that's okay if you're one of people in the happy family that's requalifying and making good coin. But if you're part of a happy family where you're the kid that's not getting, like you're the little kid who's getting last serve at the pastor every night, etc. I don't think it's as happy being in a happy family as it is for the winners. So that's why I would understand individuality and separate yourself from the pack.
Yeah, and there's no harm in doing that. If you look back and stuff, I'm not saying that I want everyone on the tour to be friends.
Out and out snake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But going back to the make or break series and actually kind of focusing on that rather than the surface, that part of it was one of my favorite parts, one of my most memorable parts, because that's the stuff that you don't get to see anywhere. No one had picked that up, and there was a couple of other bits like Matt McGilvery sleeping in the back of his
that was good, wasn't it?
In the back of his van. You're like, Jesus, can't, like, yeah. And it came to the Matt McGilvery thing came to me about, this is kind of a side track, but about how Instagram, you know how on Instagram everyone's living this perfect life, and like Matt McGilvery's a world tour surfer who gets to go to all these spots over the world, but he doesn't show on his Instagram that he's sleeping in the back of his pickup truck, and and he doesn't have to, but I'm just saying, like, with the whole world is
maybe he did, unless
I might not have seen it, but I thought that bit was really, really cool. So I do think there was a lot of positives, and I do think it can only get better. I think if they make it and there's crowds, that would probably add to it. I think if there's more drama and kind of getting even more kind of juiciness from it, because some parts of it still felt very, the surfers or whoever was being interviewed had their media hat on, like they couldn't say anything bad, but
they got WSL commentators. They got Shannon.
Well, yeah.
And a few of the others. It just felt like a WSL exercise. And before I said quite a misogynist comment about, for example, Gabby and his hottie. What I meant to say was that was like how she was portrayed, because, and obviously that's her image as well. Like she seems Instagram. They're no longer together. But throughout the entire series, she was very close to anything Gabby did. It really came off to me like she was. Do you guys call them it's a wag, correct? Wife and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like a plastic wag, as opposed to when you see
Philippe.
Not even Philippe.
Sorry, Jack
Robinson's girlfriend, where you just and maybe that's just me trying to pick up on things, but I saw genuine concern for his result as opposed to genuine concern for the result. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she looked generally concerned, as opposed to, is it Yasmin? Looked very excited, part of the victory and part of the filming. She was as happy as she could get. You should put your phone down, man.
I'm on my notes. I'm on my notes about make or break. Don't worry, I'm not.
And I thought, obviously, I thought Felipe's episode was incredible. I lost a mate to suicide in 2010, one of my best friends. My wife actually works in that field. What I thought was slack in that was there was all this talk of depression and Felipe and this and that. And he just briefly said in one sentence, oh yeah, I'm getting some treatment or something. But it's so much more than that they could have gone into. They could have talked to him, how's he been feeling since his treatment? What sort of a treatment is he getting? Because the rest of the people are just thinking, oh, he's got his wife with him, oh, that'll be happy days, he'll be better. Put a Band-Aid on your mental health and it'll get better. And it's not the case.
Yeah, that was literally where I was on my notes, and in capitals I've got Felipe. There's a really funny thing. The Felipe episode was the only one when I was watching it that Emily sat down to watch with me. Not out of choice, she was just there and she was like, oh, I'll watch one. And in the first 10 minutes, she was like, I'm not sure I like this guy, he's a bit of a brat, because it was showing older events and stuff. And then it showed the whole episode and his story. And by the end of it, he's now one of her. I mean, she doesn't follow surfing in any way at all, but she's always like,
she'll be happy for him to get through it.
Yeah. And I think it showed a really, really like great side to Felipe in terms of being open about it. And obviously shows that anyone and everyone can go through something, and everyone will need help at one point, and it's fine to need that. It did then make me think though, like this this is a WSL program, and they clearly are seeing Felipe go through this. And then what they then do is go and put on a mid-year cut after 5 events to add extreme pressure.
Yeah, but mate, you can't run a sporting calendar around people's potential mental health. Because I'm telling you, as surfers, and I've known professional surfers for many years, and they're slack as lark. They're slack. They wake up late. Now they do a bit of training. If you're in football, Matt, is there any favours given? They didn't get cut. They're now on the Challenger Series.
I mean, I don't think it translates to, like, football is slightly different, but also in football, you know, you're part of a team, but there's not every single golf event starts with, because I think golf's a more individual sport, starts with 72 people and there is a midway cut.
Every match, in every tournament, you know, isn't it?
Yeah, but everyone gets, but it's only you versus the course, and there's a lot more opportunity. You still get the event, you still get to enter every event, and then that event has a cut. Not halfway through the tour, you're not doing any more stops of that series, of that event. Plus, what a lot of people haven't been made aware of is when the cut was agreed to, there was the Challenger Series prize money was agreed to at a certain point. They changed the Challenger Series prize money. They took it right down and kept the cut in place.
Yeah, but that's because they doubled the Challenger Series from 4 to 8 events.
Yeah, but that still doesn't, you know, like their argument is that it's putting them under a lot of financial pressure, which is mental pressure, especially when you're like trying to obviously provide for your family and stuff. And
change sport.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think it's a bit like, I just think there's a bit of they're riding, they're making money out of Felipe opening up about his depression, and at the same time almost trying to get more people in that same mind space.
So look at it that way. Who was the one that was more depressed, Felipe or Matty McGilvery?
Well,
Answer the question.
Well, Felipe, but
who's got more money, Felipe or Matty?
Exactly, but money's not always, you know, they're in different parts.
Me into it about they're making a halfway year cut or whatever.
I think depression comes at it a different way. But
basically, you just watch Snapper, okay?
Yeah.
Would you have rather the Snapper event finish the day before or finish in conditions that they finished on the last day?
Oh, I'd rather it be surfed in the best conditions for sure. But I also think
so many people. That's all.
Me and Joel brought it up on the episode where you had COVID, where if you've made the second half of the CT, where the championship tour, you shouldn't be in Challenger Series events.
I agree with that.
But anyway, yeah, I did think Felipe's episode was a standout episode because of how good it is. Let's go into what wasn't great. For me, firstly, one of the biggest things that annoyed me was how they put stupid sound overs when the waves were breaking, and when someone was doing a turn, they put like a cracking of a whip or like these sounds.
They don't finish a wave either, ever.
No.
If someone's going for a maneuver, they stop it. I hate that in any sort of commentary. Even live forecasts do the same thing, obviously, but everyone's talked that to death, haven't they? Like Margaret's,
yeah.
All-ins, all this sort of stupidity where basically just watch the event. And if you want to talk over it.
But you're watching. There was one where it was the event. It was this episode, where Morgan, there was focusing on Morgan and Matt McGilvery and stuff, and it was Morgan surfing at Newcastle, and it's like a 3-foot wave, and every turn you saw him coming through his fins out of the back of the wave, and it was like and stuff, and I was just like, fuck's sake, like it's just, you don't need to do it. So I didn't like that. Was there anything that you picked up on that you wasn't a fan of?
Oh, there are a lot of things that I didn't really like. I just think it was very sporadic, and I think instead of either doing more episodes or less topics.
Yeah. So
the surfing tour is completely different to the politics that go into Formula One. So there's your big difference. Like you said, you haven't watched it. Formula One's series and always has been super interesting because you got so much politics. There's so much money. You've got the directors of teams. They come up behind people. They snake people. You've got a driver. You get rid of him. Where you don't have that. In surfing. Now with the cut, at least you got a little bit. And it's not even that the cuts are just bringing it about excitement. For me, the cut, and that we'll see that in next year's Make or Break potentially. This the one they're filming now. Is more just about having the better surfers in the better waves, which is what I was annoyed to me about this series to start with, which I said to a friend of mine as well, is surfing's epic sport and it's fantastic to watch. They had the whole year to film the best parts of this and they could have put it on, but it's always not that they did a personal surfer series as opposed to the sport.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I would, you kind of want to see. Well, I haven't seen the Drive to Survive, but from what I've heard is that one team isn't scared to say something that will piss another team off. Whereas what I would like to see is, maybe it was Kingy come out and go, "Fuck, Gabby beat that guy. The judges cooked that score. That's wrong. We should have beat him. We should be smoking that guy." Or, Sage come out on the camera and be like, "Tatiana's an absolute little snake," kind of thing, like whatever. Like, I know I'm not asking for people to just, but is what's engaging. Like, there's no kind of argument that drama is more engaging.
Basically, what they should have done, for people that haven't seen it, is Sage asks Tatiana, "Hey, do you know who's got priority? Have I got priority?" And Tatiana says to her, "Yeah, I think you do." Now, 2 minutes later, Sage goes to take off on a wave. Tatiana, who's on a shoulder, drops in down on the wave and basically causes an interference. So she's told Sage she's got priority when she doesn't, and then takes off to get her an interference. Now, what they could have really done then would have been, instead of just doing the little light filming from a bit of a distance, each of Sage yelling out, "Up you stupid man," the other one going, "Just play the game." They could have gone and said to Sage, "Hey, what happened? She told me this." They had to tell. Then they could have gone to Sage's team manager and said, "What did you think about that?" And he could have said, "Oh, no. Then they could have gone back to Tatiana's and said, no. Then they could have gone to the head judge and said, "What's the situation when someone's saying that they've tricked him into a priority interference, because we've got it even out there on audio tape that she said something." They could have done all that stuff, and that whole thing could have gone over 15 minutes and actually would have been interesting, because that sort of thing I think is more than what we think.
Yeah, I agree. And that was the other point. So I really like that part of it. And I really liked the part on the final episode when there was the shark at Trestles, and you actually got to see Gabriel and Felipe's interaction on the back of the skis after a shark had been in the lineup. And like, they were super calm. I would have been tweaking out.
California.
Obviously.
It wasn't a massive shark or whatever.
Still thought it was really interesting, real cool insight. So to wrap it up, because obviously we could talk about it for ages, I think I would say that I would happily, I signed up to an Apple subscription. I've now cancelled it.
How much is that?
I mean, it was $4.99 a month, but I'm never going to watch. I've been through it. I'm not going to watch anything else on there.
You're able to watch it for $5.
What's that?
You're able to watch it for £5.
Yeah. And now I'm going to cancel it, and then when it comes out again, I'll sign back up. So I will definitely pay £5 to watch it next year.
You can't just buy the series?
I don't think so. I think it's cheaper to do it this way anyway. So I think it's great, and I think it's worth a $5. And I would say just don't judge it just from episode 1. But after that, what we will now go and talk about is some proper surfing with the Challenger Series just finishing this morning at Snapper, and what an event that was.
Oh, sick. I didn't actually get to say a final word on Make or Break there, Matthew, because you decided to talk for me.
Yeah.
Which often happens in close relationships. But I got it for free too, and I wouldn't pay for it to watch another series of it. but that's, I think, once again, like I said before, because subconsciously with my, I want to believe I'm a core surfer. I don't necessarily want to get involved in aspects of our sport which popularize our culture, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Still,
But-
somewhere inside me feels like it's a sellout, and okay, people go, yeah, they're core surfers, but they're getting paid to do it. So it's like the Olympics, which I don't like either, because it's good for who? It's good for the guys that are going to the Olympics. Yeah, they get money. So good for that 48, but what about the other 48,000 of us?
Yeah. So Snapper Challenger
Snapper.
Series Event 1. What do you reckon?
Snapper. I wished it was a CT because it's sick. It's a home wave for me. It's everything that surfing loves. Performance, speed, power. Like as a young surfer, for us from Sunny Coast, where the waves are still reasonably good when they're good. Going to the Gold Coast was so exciting because the waves were faster and hollower. And I think every surfer in the world enjoys that. And that's why there's so many people at Snapper and the Superbank, because it's easy to surf a fast, hollow wave. And not only is it easy to surf it, it's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
And when you see those ripping in, it's fun as fuck.
Definitely. Yeah, and it was a sick event. I think overall, really good event. I liked how you got a variety of waves, because the first couple of days was almost perfection. They were glassy, groomed waves.
But potentially a little bit small.
Yeah, they were a little small, definitely. Especially the first couple of heats and stuff. But then the last couple of days was more. It's kind of like what everyone was saying there. Was this is what they get more of is a bit of wind, real hard current and rip to fight against. But in that you get some absolute gems, and we saw that. And I think local knowledge came good. Mostly, if you looked at
I think two of the best in the men's side, two of the top 4 best surfers made the final. And on the women's side, the 2 best surfers I saw made the final.
Yeah.
No, 2 of 3, because I think Malia was equal as either of them 2, and she didn't make the final.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you actually looked at even the round of 16, it was quite, especially in the men's, it was quite Australian dominated in the numbers, which you would expect. And there were some really cool kind of breakthroughs. That Oscar Berry, his story's pretty wild. I think he was just competing on the junior juniors. Yeah, won the pro junior, and then obviously makes it pretty deep in a heat into the event, considering they started with 96 guys. And yeah, Jackson Baker, Sheldon, Morgs, Callum, Oscar Berry himself.
Is it the Aussie Cyclone?
Yeah, maybe.
I got a feeling that
on the Challenger series, maybe.
I mean, Brazilian Storm seems to have been weathered,
or the Australian Storm's underneath it, because the Brazilian Storm's still on the challenge, still on the CT rather than Challengers. I don't know, but we'll see.
Who won the last CT? Aussie. Who won the last Challenger? An Aussie.
But who won the CT before that? And Felipe, and then Felipe won Bells.
Yeah, we come second.
Yeah. So, but I thought the Challenger series last year was really good, and this year event 1 has lived up and exceeded my expectation as well, and it's actually made me feel a bit better about the cut. The only thing I would say is I do think that if you're a challenger, if you're on the world tour, if you're on the championship tour, you shouldn't be in the Challenger series event, because Callum Robson's just won it and he's already on the tour and he's made it through the tour, and it's great. And obviously for someone like him, an unsponsored surfer, is putting a bit more money in his back pocket, which I don't want to take out of anyone's back pocket, but at the same time,
hey, he's got no sponsor.
No sponsor. So with him, it's slightly different, but
Got to do it. It's got to get the coin, man. That's where
he's got to 100%. But
They got to let CT surf it. I know what you mean. They got to let CT surf it because that's what these kids exposure and experience.
Yeah. I'm just still not 100% on it, because I would argue as well, if Callum, for example, goes to do that and in the final, like he's winning, went on the final wave, breaks his leg, then it almost wasn't worth the risk of the money. But who knows? But I did think it was a really, really good event. The girls, well, if people want proof of this, we've got proof. But me and you I called Sheldon Simkis to win it, the whole thing, and you called Cal Robson to win the whole thing. I think after the first round, so we done pretty strong there. I thought I'm
just going to throw this out there quickly because it's got nothing to do with our conversation, which you enjoy from me. I'm not taking anything away from her, but I'm wondering if like Caitlin Simmers isn't a bit overscored. Like I think she's a great surfer, but like I looked at her wave a few times compared to like a Malia wave, and I think Malia's wave or Molly's better. And I'm wondering sometimes if these judges aren't getting sucked into she's a kid. Let's give her a bonus kid points.
I definitely don't think so, because Sierra Kerr, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, they're all of them are the same age. And
they were doing turns, but they're not like doing.
I thought Katie in the final especially was sick. But no, I personally don't think so. There was a wave that I saw Katie get in like round 1 or 2 that could have easily been Steph Gilmore. She's a serious talent. And do you know what? One of my notes, I was just looking at my notes here about this. Something I noticed with Katie Simmers is she's no longer on CI boards. She's on a underground type ish kind of shavers boards now.
She didn't want to do the world tour. Why is she doing a challenger tour?
Because she now wants to do the challenger. She now wants to do the world tour. So obviously she has to get back on.
How old is she?
She's 17, or she will be 17.
She will be this year, or she will be 17 this year?
I don't know her exact birthday. I know that when she qualified for the tour, she was 16, so she's somewhere in that.
Right, because look, Betty Lou Sakura didn't re-qualify. Spent the year chasing the tail, even though she just made the semi, so she's all right. She'll re-qualify.
Yeah, and Molly as well.
All of those 3 will re-qualify, and those 3 are as good as most of the crew in the top 10.
Definitely. Molly gets a bit more, if she takes more and more confidence out of that turn that she done at Margaret River, I think Molly could be definite future world champ.
I think it's already given her the confidence.
Same. I just wanted to, and that's why I think I said the same about Leo. I actually think it's maybe a good thing that Molly fell off of tour, because I want to see her on the Challenger Series winning and being in the final and being in the semi-final and just getting a bit more experience and a bit more confidence, and then she can go ham on the world tour.
And you think the same thing about Leo?
I think Leo just needs more confidence. And even in this event, round of 16, he was winning heats, and he should take more and more kind of confidence out of that.
I saw his mum on the roundabout today, just across the road, and I stopped and I said to her, it was a pity, because I thought it was. I thought he was favourite for the win, personally.
Yeah, but he done good.
I actually think he was favourite for the win. I thought his surfing was as good as Callum's and Sheldon's, but you got to win it to win it. That's it.
Yeah. And it was funny because
doesn't matter if you're a standout in the early heat.
The heat of the round of the 16 that I think he had Zeke, and that was definitely the standout heat in terms of on paper. But still, he's made it from the round of 96 to the round of 16, so he's been winning heats rather than, on the world tour he was losing heats. So it's just good to get into a winning habit, I think, and that's why I think Leo will do.
For us now as Manly's coming up, because like Shannon said on the commentary, they're just so stoked with these world-class waves on the Challenge Series. Snapper, Manly, and hopefully it follows the downward trend, and the comp after we throw in East Wittering.
Maybe.
Manly, I was just being sarcastic. It's just a shithole bad beach break in Sydney, which is right on the edge of Australia's biggest city.
Yeah.
Why does they have to say Why does she have to say stuff that's not true?
Because she doesn't know. She called Jack Robinson Jack Florence, so she's a moron. But the Manly event, I was going to say, the Manly event should be easier for some people because you're not going to get Kelly at Manly. You're not going to get
Yeah. Leo made the final last time there.
yeah. So
It'll be a 3 foot kind of closeout beach. It's the same sort of wave as Brazil. Probably not as good.
yeah. So you're not going to get as many championship tour surfers on the Manly event or other events because they're going to be obviously then going to prep for G-Land and everything else.
I don't see Callum going down and trying to back it up.
Nah, he's got no. Nah.
He'd be mad to not get on the plane and go to G-Land straight away.
Yeah. So then you put Leo, you put people like Leo, Zeke, Morgs in that front runner up. They should be winning that event.
Morgs surf good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he surfed really good. I thought.
Not Callum. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And he was winning. He was winning that heat as well. Morgs was winning that heat, and Callum got him.
J.O. Yanka surfed pretty good too.
Hey, so let's talk about this because this is on my notes. Joe Chanka and Matthias Hurdy, within the space of 3 heats of that day, both surf FCS 2s and both lost fins during their heat.
Did J.O. lose a fin as well?
Yeah. It might be one of the worst things that could happen to FCS.
Blame the tool or blame the carpenter? Why don't they have a screw in there?
But that's the thing is the FCS 2 system.
Yeah, but you still got
not meant to. But
holes. You've still got screw holes to put them in there.
You do.
And
you do.
Everyone in the world who's been surfed an FCS 2 over the last 10 years is going to tell you they've lost a fin before. I've lost a couple. You lost a couple?
I've lost a couple doing airs like Matthias Hurdy, yeah.
If your whole career is riding on getting through a heat on the Challenger Series at 4 to 5 foot snapper, where you think you're going to be looking at doing performance surfing, and you don't check over your tools and put your little screw in.
Yeah, but it wasn't great for FCS. But Joe Chanka surfed really good. I completely agree. I think his surfing's sick.
CT.
But and yeah, there was a couple of other people that like kind of I had no idea that they were going to do good.
Jacob Wilcox went ham on the wave. He did. I said to this my friend the other night, my age when I watched this turn he did, I felt sore in my body.
Yeah.
So flexible and fast it was. I felt my sciatica. I felt my hips. I felt everything. You can't do that if you're not. Like Kelly couldn't have done that turn.
So what I want to talk to you about actually is not an individual kind of turn on performance, but before Snapper started, there's obviously the claim that it's one of the most performance waves in the world, blah, 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 blah. What I really enjoyed about this event was that there was barely an air. And if there was an air, it was you had to do it at the right part of the wave. You had to do it early on in the wave and then still do turns, which I think is what.
Or late in the wave after doing good turns.
Yeah, you could.
Late in the wave after doing good turns, is guys then panic and want to bank it.
Yeah, and like the judging, I thought was really, really good as well because they weren't. There was a couple of times where someone raced down the line and done they didn't even do a turn on the wave, raced down the line and done an air, and the judges gave it a 4, which it should be when you've got a wave behind it where someone's just doing 30 lip smashes.
There's also people that do 30 lip taps as opposed to 30 lip smashes.
I think
a Callum Robson in the lip frontside hack
blows the absolute roof off of it.
Well, it's just so critical because if you're putting everything into a turn, you've got a huge chance of falling off as well.
Yeah.
Frog and a fail. His fins didn't come out.
He rides futures. But yes, so I thought the judging and I thought the surfing was a really it was a sick surfing style to watch just because the variety, backhand and front side, people were like mixing it up. And another shout, I thought Dylan Moffat surfed really good as well.
He rips.
Yeah.
So good surfer to watch.
And there's a guy who I posted. He didn't make it past round 1 or round 2, but he's this South African guy who basically has come from like a really kind of sketchy background and stuff.
I saw it with your air.
Yeah, so his name's like is Yoshi. Is,
0.01 of a point.
yeah, Yoshi Faulkner, and I thought that air was sick, and that was the only one where I said that was definitely a 7.5. He got super like contorted and inverted on that air, and I thought that was worth more points.
Yeah, I guess his landing wasn't that good. That's
Wasn't super clean, but I just think overall, men's and women's, Steph Gilmore got that heat where she got like an over 19. She's the queen. Katie Simmons was I think she was the best surfer, but I do completely agree with you. Molly and Malia Manuel were very, very good as well. The men's side, I just thought the whole thing, every heat was worth watching, and I thought it was sick to see Julian Wilson back.
Yeah, he went good too. At one stage, I
Yeah.
thought, after saying that I didn't think he was going to do anything, that he might make a final, but I just don't think he's got, I just don't think he's got what it takes anymore. Not in talent, just in motivation.
Yeah, he was definitely surfing with a very free kind of spirit to it, and yeah, he seemed like he had a weight off of his shoulders, which I actually think is great for him. And I know that he's going to be doing the Manly event. Apparently, well, he said he's doing the Manly event. So
did he make points in this one? Enough?
I think what did he got to the round of 16. So when you're cutting down from 96, that's quite far.
Like put it this for me, I'm thinking like Julian, like Owen was in the comp, right? I said to you, it's a pity Owen's not on the tour anymore, because I still think it is. I still think he's probably one of the most talented backside surfers in history.
Yeah,
That's how high I'm rating, just because of his height, his technique. There's nothing he can't do backside, and that's why, like for example, at the wave pool, he was in the top 5, because the wave pool just comes down to being the best person and pressure.
Mm.
You're never going to get the dude who's 32nd winning the wave pool. It's just not going to happen. And Owen was in the top 5. He's just an unlucky surfer. And is he bringing the unluck on himself? Is he not good enough to get through heats? Because that's what it is. Caitlin Simmons won. Once you got that winning in you, Callum won. He made the final at Bells. Then he's at Snubber. He won. He's getting through heats. I saw him straight away when he qualified for the CT, and I thought, this is going to be a kid who gets through heats, because there was like 3 or 4 heats at either Halle or Sunset where you need a score.
Yeah.
And not everyone can do it. We see it. Some dudes are good enough to get there, but people don't get the score where he's getting the score.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
And he done that again. He done that at Snapper again. I think there was three heats in a row where he was losing going into the final 3 minutes or something, and then he went and got the score. I don't agree with Owen Wright. He fell off tour last year.
Owen.
Yeah. And
I don't say he deserves to be on tour from his results. I just say surfing is equally top 10. And that person's not on tour.
I think I agree in a way, but then the first 5 for someone like Owen Wright, the first 5 events, they're great ways for him to be up on that leaderboard. So I wasn't, especially Owen. I don't think he should have got the wild card anyway.
He got stitched that pipe. They ran his feet on the shitty morning, and there was no waves. But he shouldn't have got the wild card anyway, like you said. And it was actually very fitting that Matty McGilvory has knocked him out, because he didn't get it. And he's sleeping in the back of a van. Yeah. And Owen's got 3 or 4 properties in Byron Bay. He's banging with money.
Yeah, and I like Owen. I've listened to him on the poddy with the Lipped boys, and he comes across really good. And I like his surfing, but I would actually rather see other people on tour now as well.
If Owen was at G-Land, I'd be putting $10 on him, because Owen's as good as Medina. Owen would have been, for me, a favourite at G-Land.
I agree. I completely agree.
And how many favourites he got? I've got to send a message. If you listen to Dibble, I'm coming for you. Because I'm saying we're going to end this episode now after you come back with me do's and don'ts. But I'm going for my favourites for G-Land: John, Jack, Medina, Inatawa. It's as simple as that.
I mean, yeah, it is as simple as that when you pick those 4. All right, let me make it harder for you. You've got to pick 2 of those 4.
John, and Gabe.
Okay. You're about
Is
to
it-
hear something that I will not say.
At all, was it?
You're about to hear something that I will probably never repeat after this.
You told it.
Yeah.
It was fearless, mate. Don't worry. He's fearless.
front side out there. I think I'm predicting Italo or Gabe.
My mate was telling me that he reckons that like they're all going to go so good there because they're all going to go so fast. But also know there's good surfers there that can come a cropper on. I think it's speedies down the end. It's no water. You're just traveling in a barrel. You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite for a woman. They're going to have to run them on the lower days because it's a freight train express.
I don't think so. I don't think they will, and I don't think they would have to. If I were picking 2 women, I am going to bank that they're going to give Bronte. No, I'm going to bank that they're going to give Bronte Macaulay the wild card, which I've heard a rumor of, and I would say Bronte or Tatiana Weston Webb.
Yeah, I don't think Tatiana Weston Webb's actually got the tube technique to handle it out there. I'm going to say Joanne DeFay, and that's it. I don't know any of them that have got a brilliant tube riding technique. I reckon they might give Moana 1 a wild card. Briefly, and then give me a do's and don'ts. Moana 1 was completely outclassed in the snapper event, which is there's no shame in that.
So I've heard that she won't get the G-Land wild card, but she's getting the Chopes wild card. But
they should give Vahina Ferreira the
I
Chopes
think they're the 2 people that get it for Chopes because there's a local wild card and then another one, and I think it will be Vahine and Moana, and I reckon that might be the final.
Is it true that Rio Waders get the men's G-Land?
Apparently, he's the him and Gabe.
Okay, all right. So, what are your do's and don'ts for a mid-May?
6. So I've got these written down. So my don't. This is something that I see all the time at the moment, and it really annoys me. So it's a don't. And it's a stop. But don't/stop trying to sell your board secondhand without de-waxing it. Like commit to selling it, de-wax it,
I agree.
polish it up. Because
polish it, de-wax it, put some fake stickers on it, like we used to do.
You're trying to sell your board, and it's got like a 14-year-old black wax job, and you're trying to tell me you've only surfed it 10 times.
Like even some pubic hair.
Yeah. So stop that basically. And then my do is a good one. I haven't done this, but if you can, within your friend group, try and get someone who's potentially not a surfer, but likes surfing.
Did you say, was that friend or for when?
Friend.
And
in your group of acquaintances, have someone who likes surfing, but is a good photographer. Someone who will is the value of the,
on the beach and film.
Yeah, the value of that friend is massive. So that's my like do's and don'ts.
The kid with the pool.
Yeah. What about you?
Don't hesitate to get into your 3-2. I mean, it's warm as. And the water's 17 or 18. We'll be in spring suits next week.
Right. Yeah.
And don't bag the buck scene. I'm not going to say anything else.
Fair. That's understandable. That's a good one, Daz.
I'm telling you, I reckon it helped me last weekend.
Yeah, but we'll do a full G-Land run up, but also in the next week or 2, we're going to do some more reviews of.
If you can, listeners, hashtag #DatMobile on our Instagram. I've already tagged him on one. We've got to get him on to
Mr.
talk
G-Land.
G-Land. But he's also going to have to have a mic in one ear, and we've got to make sure we get him before Queensland time, 8:00, 9:00. Otherwise, he could be 6 deep.
That might not be a bad thing either.
1,000 days in G-Land.
Yeah, so we'll get him live, and we're going to get
someone else.
We got a couple more people coming up as
Doc
well.
Doc Marshall got caught in a tidal wave, a tsunami there. I'm going to try and get him as well.
Yeah. But amazing. Thanks, Daz. We'll be
Thanks, Matt.
back soon. Au
Yeah.
revoir.